Hi everyone, welcome. I wanted to create a short video on how we iterate through detection engineering and making more resilient analytics or detections. This particular case, this was a longer slide deck, but I made it shorter for just this quick review, a quick overview of it. So I'm just going to start. The idea is that I'm going to take two detections that we have in our security content repo, and I'm going to show how to simulate that behavior, adversary behavior, check it out in Splunk, and does our current coverage, these two analytics, do they identify all variations, some or just none, or is it broken, or is there something wrong? And then go ahead and tune them to make them more effective. All right, so with this, I chose to use Atomic Red Team and Atomic Test harnesses. In particular, there's a harness for out PowerShell command line parameter, which allows you to choose different command line switch types, use encoded command, encoded argument, things like that. Mostly going to be using Atomic Test harnesses in this demo. Now, something we've added recently to our security content is a new macro that covers all the process names for PowerShell. And you'll notice there's PWSH, ISE, things like that. And then we also added the original file name. In our latest release for our endpoint data model, or just data models in general, but our endpoint data model has now original file name. And if you're using the latest version of Sysmon, the new TA for Sysmon has original file name as well. And so they match up. And so you could use this type of macro to capture the process name. And if it's being renamed by the adversary, you'll catch it with the original file name. So that's where this comes in. So just level setting on what these analytics will look like. So in this case, we have a detection looking just for encoded command. And based on the Atomic Test harness, we know there are different command line, command switch types, so not just hyphen. And this particular analytic uses just the hyphen for hyphen encoded command and then hyphen ENC. And then there's wildcard, so looking for anything after ENC. We know that with PowerShell, you can type encoded command, ENC, ENCO, and all those variations. So this in particular will cover ENC up to encoded command. So there's quite a range right there. So we know our process name piece is pretty much handled. We have original file name, we have process name. The command line to us here is a bit brittle. We know it's not capturing everything because there's obviously a few missing. And hyphen's not the only switch type. So what's in scope? I wanted to focus this just on the encoded command parameter. I'm not looking for any obfuscation, not tackling backticks and ticks and carrots or anything like that, just straight encoded command. In our first demo, we're going to focus on encoded command. So in this particular case, this is the current encoded command analytic that we have. I'm going to run it for the last 5 minutes, see if anything comes up. I did execute some work just a few minutes ago. We'll see if anything comes back. If not, we will rerun. Perfect, so nothing happened. So let's go ahead and rerun this. I'm using out ATH PowerShell command line parameter with the encoded command switch. And the switch type currently is just hyphen. So we're looking for exactly what this analytic is looking for. And you can see here the way it hits is it will use every variation of encoded command. Now I'll rerun my search. And we will get results. And just as we saw, it's catching everything from ENC up to encoded command as expected. And that's what we see with this. But note that that is just hyphen. Without ATH, we can also run /. So I'm going to just switch the switch type, run this again, and as you can see, it's using / instead of hyphen. And I'll rerun this although we know it's not going to work because hyphen is hard-coded in here. Let this finish, and then we'll move on to how we made this more resilient. So again, there are no forward slashes in this search. So Palo Alto released a blog back in 2017 going through how they analyzed a large set of data of Encoded Command PowerShell, and they were able to basically break it down to just this regex, and they were able to capture the most with it. So I took this regex and I expanded on it a little bit using regexer here. I was able to, a couple things I changed was adding the S plus here for any space. So if an adversary were to try to pad this, it will still detect this. And then the other piece I added was the M dash, N dash, and the pipe and things like that. So hyphens here too. Everything's here. So all variations will be captured. And so with our analytic, I was able to modify it to look like this. So we have all the variations of the command line switch type, and then encoded command. And then based on the work that we just executed, which was hyphen and forward slash, we will now be able to get all the results for encoded command down to EN and EC, including the forward slash. And so if you were to do the same type of execution, say using M dash, I'll just copy this, paste that in here. So M dash, come back here, rerun our search, and now we will start to capture M dash. So using regex, it took us from looking at just hyphen, encoded command. Now we're looking at these multiple variations and capturing all encoded command execution occurring. Very, very powerful. Note here that I removed a portion of this, and so you can re-add this back, and our final product will have that once I'm all done with it. I'm just going to paste that in here. The idea is that it captures, the space and whatever's after that and validate there is actually an encoded command after it. If there is no base 64 following encoded command, this does not match, and that is proven by simply just even removing this on our regexer. Yep, there it is. So that's it. There it is, all the matches. So, okay, so as you saw in the demo, we went through the different variations. We looked at the previous and we looked at what I've created. So again, the idea was let's get all those variations. So we're covering each N dash, M dash, the forward slash, everything like that, plus the encoded command. And then down at the bottom were just some of the other ones that I had just played with, including just saying, just this typical string match, show me, look for each one of these. So it just depends. We did consider performance. So you're most likely going to see a performance impact if you're using regex compared to process within the whole long string of looking for all the different variations of the encoded command. So now with the update, we have the process name handled. Command line is mostly complete. We have a very resilient analytic. And then we cover all the variations of the switch type. So no longer focused on hyphen, but now we're looking at everything. So the next one I'm going after is another analytic we have, which is PowerShell connecting to the internet with a hidden window. And in this case, WindowStyle is its own parameter, and then the hidden is like a method or function within that. And new object is actually a totally separate thing. So the first thing I found, and we'll look at this in our demo, is that there needs to be an or statement here because it's not going to work. Similarly, switch types do matter. This is focused just on hyphen. So we're going to, just like what we saw in encoded command, we're going to switch that and look for all variations as well. And the command line is very brittle here because WindowStyle may be shortened, just like we saw with Encoded Command, and hidden may be shortened as well. For our scope on this, we are focusing only on the WindowStyle parameter. We are not going to worry about obfuscation or the new object command line as well. There's no need to focus on that. All right, flip to our demo here. Okay, so for this, we're focusing on WindowStyle. And like I mentioned in the slide, there is an issue with this analytic out the gate. If I hit enter with just the base analytic that we have in our repo today, WindowStyle is a parameter and new object is another commandlet. These don't really work together. And so we have to add OR here. And our scope is not really on new object at this point. We're really looking at WindowStyle and hidden. And in the last 24 hours, I have executed WindowStyle with hidden. So now data will appear. Here's our 4 results looking at specifically hyphen WindowStyle and hidden. And you can see all those right here. Now, this particular detection requires these 2 to both be written out completely like that and or be completely in the command line. So similarly, what I did with Regex is we took this and I just expanded it, M dash and N dash and all that, WindowStyle and hidden. So no matter what variation we have, it will always capture WindowStyle hidden. So that's our original, and then now this is our new. I'm going to run this for 24 hours. And there is no atomic test harness for this, so all I did is I just created a bunch of these, copied them, opened up PowerShell, pasted it, and because it's hidden, it is now gone off my screen, and it's gone. But again, I'll just run that for the last 24 hours. You'll see all the latest hits, but this will catch all the variations, even with / and things like that I had on my little command, my notepad. You can see all those right here. So just random variations that I was just able to type out, copy and paste. So simple enough. Okay, as we saw in the demo, we were able to get this so tight down to just looking for all WindowStyle and hidden variations, and plus those variations of the okay, so we were able to capture all those variations with all the N dash and M dash / and whatnot, plus capturing any WindowStyle and hidden that's executed on that command line. So this captures pretty much everything we were looking for. And again, Regex may not be performant. We are hitting this with T-stats. But if you wanted to go for after each one, you could type out each one. So for our updated detection, we have the process name piece covered. The command line portion is no longer brittle, but very resilient to multiple variations of WindowStyle. And then hyphen is no longer the main one that's left over here. Thanks for checking this out.